Everybody, I'm Deanna, and this is my spiritual YouTube channel, The Faith That Grows. And today I wanted to talk about an interesting thing that I've been learning about, that life has been teaching me, that God has been showing me, and it's about the power of focus. I'm sure just like we all know, and if you don't know, I'm just gonna say, like, everything is energy at the end of the day. Like, even my chair, it's made up of energy. We are energy. Everything is energy. And you are so powerful as a child of God that if you want to resolve a problem in your life, you're going to be able to do that. Solve any problem in your life with your choice, the power of your choice, the power of your focus, and of course, spiritual work, inner work. Specifically today, I want to talk about two examples of things that have happened to me recently, and they may seem really small, but I think that's why it's on my heart and mind to relay these examples, because they are so seemingly small. In truth, there's no such thing as a large problem versus a small problem. It's like all the same to God. But at the same time, I might seem like I'm contradicting myself a lot. Just go with me. Like, I really am trying to communicate something important at the end of the day. But so, like, in the process of like manifesting something, like manifesting a cup of coffee into your reality, for instance, is going to be quote unquote easier than manifesting a house. There's like a shorter vibrational journey. But at the same time, large and small miracles, the process is the same. I want to give an example of how I manifested a name tag with my name on it at the church that I go to. It's the First Unitarian Society in Madison. We try our best to go every week in person. And quite a while ago, I would say 2 months ago, that's my guess, I filled out a request for a name tag, because when you walk in, there's this shelf with everyone's name tag on it, and you put it on, and then that's how people know who you are at First Unitarian Society. It's a good system. And since Dan and I have been going to this church more and more regularly, over a year now we've been going, I wanted to finally get myself a name tag. Went through their process. You fill out a little piece of paper and you put it in this box, and then your name tag will appear. Of course, someone has to make it. But and so I did that, and I knew that I would have my name tag at some point. So I checked back the next time we went, and I looked at the huge shelf, and I stood there for quite some time. I scanned every row, and I did not see my name on a name tag. And I took quite a long time to look. It wasn't there. And so I'm like, okay, I just won't have a name tag. And then the next time we came in, I checked again. I went over to the shelf, because I don't know how long it takes them to make a name tag, right? So I went over, and there's like letters where it's like supposed to be alphabetized, but in all reality it's not. And so, like, I looked in the D section for Deanna, it wasn't there. And I looked everywhere else, under every other letter, it wasn't there. And I'm like, okay. And week after week, I kept not seeing my name tag, and I was like, oh man, And I got, to be honest, pretty discouraged. Might seem silly, but it brought up a lot for me. I'm like, oh, am I not supposed to go here? Like, am I not being led here? Um, but no, like every time Dan and I check in with God, God very much wants us to be a part of First Unitarian Society in Madison. We really resonate with the church. We love it. I could go on and on about it, but it's so important to have like physical community and regularity in your schedule and all those things, something that you've committed to and you can go to and feel like you have community around you. It's so important. And so I honestly thought about this a lot, my name tag, and I'm like, oh man, like what is going on with this? And I would look, not every single time we would go, but most times. Like after a while I was like, oh, I give up. I guess I'm not gonna get a new name tag. And this went on, like I said, I think it was about 2 whole months. No lie. And so, but I thought about it all the time. And that's the key. That's kind of one of the key things that I want. Like even though I surrendered and I let go, I thought about it all the time. I'm like, my name tag. I would really like my name tag. Well, was it this last week? I think it was 2 weeks ago. We walked into church and I walked in the door and I just turned. Like literally, it was as if I had angels around me and they just turned my body. And I literally did feel, like I'm not just saying that, I felt like someone just had me turn. And there was this little shelf with new name tags. Mine was on there. Deanna. I was like, oh my God. And that was a miracle. Put on the name tag. I was so happy to have that name tag on. And I felt the miracle energy in that moment. It was a very, I could tell that God and my spirit team and my angels, they wanted to make a point with this whole name tag situation. There's something that God was trying to show me and reveal to me through this process I had undergone. And like I said, a name tag at a church is so, why didn't you just ask somebody? Where's my name tag? There are people who work there. There are volunteers. Somebody could have told me way sooner. And I could have had my name tag way sooner. And it's like, but that wasn't the point of this. This was a very particular experience God wanted to give me in manifesting my name tag. So I didn't forget about my name tag this entire 2 months this was going on. Every time we went to the church, I looked for it, or I would just kind of glance and see, and I was like, okay, and I went about my way. And I do want to speak to the fact that Deanna, why didn't you just ask someone, where is it? It didn't feel good to me. I didn't feel inspired. I didn't feel called to. That might sound dumb AF to you, but that's just the process that I was going through. I didn't want to ask someone. That didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. And I can say that I've been working through support blocks and asking for help and feeling isolated and cut off from community and inclusion. I could go into all of that, but like working through depression and feeling alone. But also, I didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have the resources to go find someone and ask. Don't ask me why. Like what? Like this is my legitimate experience. Okay. And I might look back on this later and be like, Dan, just why did you? But that's not the point. That's not the point. So the point is that I had to go through an inner process to receive my name tag. And it very much reminds me of like when you put in a request to the universe. Okay? Like I filled out that I wanted a name tag. I put it in the box, and then you surrender and you let it go. And then the universe brings it to you. It could have been part of my path to ask someone, hey, I filled out a thing for a name tag. I'm not seeing it. And someone would have gone, oh, they're right over here. But that wasn't my personal story. It just wasn't. I went through a very intimate inner process. Working through feeling like, is this the right church for me? I had to work through that. Working through feeling disconnected from other people. Feeling maybe like I was being rejected by this church. Maybe that I wasn't supposed to be there. Maybe that there's something wrong with me that I didn't get my name tag. Or like, God's not looking out for me. Or like all of these things. And it took 2 months before I finally walked in and my angels just turned. And you might think like, well, why couldn't this have happened sooner? Why didn't this happen sooner? I don't know. The point of the matter is, the real reason I even want to make a YouTube video about this is because what I really want to communicate is that even if you don't have resources and you don't have the wherewithal to ask for support, or even if you ask for support, you're not getting support, eventually your personal relationship with God and your angels and your spirit guide, you are so powerful that you're going to get the solution eventually. You will, with the power of your choice and your focus, like your intention. Whatever it is, it's going to happen eventually. And I don't know if I would have preferred to have asked someone. That's not where I was in consciousness. I didn't have this deep feeling of deep relationship with the church yet to feel like that was something that felt good to do, was to ask someone where they were. But God was looking out for me. I did get there eventually. I hope you understand kind of what I'm pointing out here. It's hard to like truly no one can stop you is what I want to say. That's what I really want to communicate. No one can really stand between you and your desires. They really cannot. Even if like everyone turned their back on you, or you didn't feel like you could ask anybody, eventually your intention is going to manifest what you want anyway. You're that powerful. Another anecdote that I wanted to share is about YouTube and YouTube comments. For the longest time, I have been very frustrated because all of the comment sections on all of my videos say it's disabled. And I've Googled this. Why is this happening? And I would go in and I would look at my default setting. My default setting is for comments to be on. But every time I would post and upload a video, my comments would be disabled, and I don't want that. I like hearing what people have to say. I like the connection and community of the internet. it felt so like bad to have comments disabled, but I could never figure it out, and I Googled it multiple times. This problem in particular has been going on for years. Years. And I could never figure it out. But I always thought about it, and I always like wondered about it, and I did Google it, and I even talked to Dan about it. I'm like, what is going on here? And it was yesterday. No, it was today. It was literally just this morning. I what was it? I noticed that my comments were disabled. It was just maddening to me. And I'm like, I don't want comments disabled on my videos. It feels so bad. So I Googled it again. But this time, I zeroed in on something that I must have missed every other time I Googled this problem. And I was talking about if you have selected the Made for Kids option for your video when you upload it, comments are automatically disabled. And I choose Made for Kids on almost every video unless I'm swearing or there's inappropriate content, because I thought the Made for Kids thing on YouTube just meant that it was okay for kids to watch your video. But Made for Kids actually means that you made it for them. I didn't know. I didn't know this, okay? This is a brand new thing to me. And I'm like, oh my God. I can't believe it took me this long to figure this out. But I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I'm just like, oh wow. There's another miracle. I finally resolved that problem. I truly, truly did resolve it. And now, when I upload videos, I'm never gonna put Made for Kids ever again. And I went and checked. I changed some of my videos to say that they weren't made for kids, and then I checked back on the page where the video was, and sure enough, comments are open. Problem resolved. What is my point in all of this? My point is that no matter what the problem is that you might be experiencing, you're going to manifest a solution to it eventually. And I'm sure we've all had this experience where like we ask someone for help or we ask someone for their feedback, and what they say just like doesn't resonate or doesn't click or doesn't work for us. Now there are plenty of times when you ask someone for help and they give you the exact answer you need. That happens all the time. People are very resourceful. Relationships are essential. That's not what I'm saying. But my point is that like even if you are in like a really isolated situation, just for example, like I've been experiencing that for years, feeling very isolated from people. Eventually, if you're making a choice to manifest a solution to something, it's gonna come. It really, really will. And I just watched a Joel Osteen sermon this morning about how God is the one in charge of opened and closed doors. I'm still healing a lot in regard to this. I don't always feel that open and closed doors are fair or directed by God, or I'm working through feeling like people can really control my destiny and really get in my way and like mess things up for me. All these things. But do you have any idea what it did for my relationship with God to walk into the First Unitarian Society one day and just feel like my angels turned me to one side and just showed me my name tag? Do you know the feeling I experienced when that happened? It was like it was like I was surrounded by angelic light and protection. And like, it was like my spirit team was saying, like, I got you. We got you. And when I resolved the issue of my comment sections being disabled this morning, the feeling I had was like, oh my God, God really does want me to share myself on YouTube and go deeper in connecting with people. That's been my desire for so long. This is a very specific spiritual lesson, and I'm not even sure if I'm communicating it properly. I'm just doing the best that I can. I guess at the end of the day, if I were to have to summarize this, I would say that even if you felt like you had nothing and no one to support you with something that you were doing and wanting, God would find a way. Have you ever seen that meme that's like, I heard conversations you didn't, and so I removed people from your life, or like, yeah, God overheard things that you didn't, or like, I saw how your friends treated you, so I sent you strangers instead. Stuff like that. You're so powerful. And your relationship with God is so safe and protected that you will get what you're looking for. You really, really, really will. And it'll be through the resources you do have. Recently, Dan is my husband. Been married since last October. He is my number one support in my life, and he is always trying to help me heal and understand God and life better. He and I were talking at some point recently, and I was feeling like other people could thwart God's will in my life. And I was just rolling in that upset, in that feeling. I could not get out of it. I couldn't heal. I couldn't move on. And he brought up the movie The Truman Show. Now, I had actually been the one to bring up The Truman Show. I told him I felt like I was in The Truman Show. That was what I was working through. I was like, Dan, I feel like I'm in The Truman Show. You don't understand. Like, no one is listening to me. No one understands me. And I feel like I'm going crazy. So he brought The Truman Show back up, and he's like, but look how the movie ended. Spoiler alert. He's like, look how the movie ended. Truman got the truth eventually. At the end of the day, because Truman was innocent and he just wanted the truth at the end of the day, that truth became revealed to him at the end. And the mastermind behind the fake reality that was created was revealed too. Everything will get revealed. It really will. And what's frustrating is thinking that it's not. Frustrating part comes in when you feel like things are taking too long. Should it have taken 2 months for me to get a name tag, for me to finally see that I had a name tag at FUS? It's not for me to say, actually. I don't know. And why did it take years for me to finally figure out the comment section on my YouTube channel? Well, I don't know. But what I'm saying is these things that frustrated me so much and I experienced so much issue with, like, why can't I figure this out? Why is this, what is going on? There was an inner process going on. And at some point in the future, I, you know, if the situation with the name tag thing were to ever happen again, I would probably just ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? You live and you learn. But even though I didn't have the capacity or the wherewithal or the resources to ask for someone's help, God still helped me. That's really what I'm really getting at, is that your intention and your focus and your choice and your healing will give you personal results in your personal reality, regardless of anyone or anything else. If you are truly focused on resolving a problem, it's going to get results. It has to. Because if that's what you're choosing, that's what you're going to get. So I hope you understood like what I'm trying to relay here. If not, it's okay. I really just needed to get this out. Always going deeper with God and with life. And so I hope you found something valuable in what I shared. The real key here is that your personal relationship with God can't be taken from you, and no one can really stop you or get in your way. That's really it. So thank you for watching, and if you're interested in this kind of content, please subscribe.